Hi folks, Rod Moore here. Well, I get a lot of questions from students in my art class and people who buy my paintings about my studio, how I set it up, and basically what is in a studio. So if you're thinking about setting up an artist studio, I just sort of make a little video for you which hopefully will give you some ideas and some tips on what to do. Now, you don't need a lot of space. I'm going to show you my studio in a minute, and as you'll see, it's not that large a room. But the one good thing I would suggest that you aim for is that you do find a room that you can shut the door on when you're finished, and also to give you some quiet time in the studio as well, as opposed to being on the kitchen table or the dining room table. So my studio is not that large. It's always in a state of being a bit messy, I'm afraid. It's just me, the way I work. But as you'll see, I'll take you inside and show you. As you'll see, you don't need a lot of equipment or anything like that. To get yourself set up with a basic studio so that you can start becoming productive in producing lots of good quality paintings. So, well, come in with me and we'll have a look at the studio, and I'll give you a bit of a tour around. So this is my studio. It's a little bit hard to see with the board there, so I'll take you around the other side in a moment. This was one of the very first paintings I ever did. Terrible, isn't it? I leave it there as a reminder, of where I started. That was a few years ago. So you can see it's not a big room. It's a modest little sort of room. It's like a little study, I guess, upstairs. And, it leads into the attic here. So it's just sort of tucked away in the corner. And so I try and make use of the space as best I can. So what you'll see is down here, this is my gear for when I go out plein air painting. I've got a bag full of boards or panels to paint on and other gear. Got my field easel there. I've got a supply of panels. I just go down to the hardware store and get these panels and just get them to cut them to shape and then put gesso on them. So I've got those there. This board I take out with me when I'm going out in the field as well. And so that's that equipment there, and just a few other canvases and things that I've collected over the last little while. That's great. As you can see, a rubbish bag right there. You go through a lot of paper towel, as a painter, especially oil paint, so I tend to use a lot of those. I come down here and I'll show you. Well, first of all, let's go up here. It's important that you have good ventilation, so I have this window always open, as you can see. Keep the fumes out, and then I tend to use this windowsill here because I don't have a lot of space. I tend to use this windowsill for drying paintings. So you'll see there's a couple of paintings there that I've got currently drying, and then I'll use this space over here for drying as well. And I've got my bookshelf here, piled high. It's my bookshelf, and it's also I've got some still life objects and things that I'm working on. I've got DVDs. Whole collection there by Peggy Crowell Roberts, and I've got stacks of educational material, DVDs, things like that in here, which are always a great resource, of course. And then down here I've got just all different little paintings, little studies that I've been doing, grayscale, value studies, things like that. Little early still lifes, paintings that I probably would never sell, but little 5 or 7 scale, grayscale, just different little paintings I've done over the years. So I've got those there. Over here I've got paintings that are probably waiting to be sold. These are ones from our TV show, Plein Air Painting TV. So they're all there. And a couple of larger paintings there as well. So I've got a bit of a storage area there, but I run out of space pretty quickly. So I tend to want to turn over the paintings, get them sold. Got some of these panel dryers here from Panelroo. Fantastic. They're for wet panels for when going out plein air painting. And this is where I work basically. As you can see, I've been working on this little painting here. It's from a photo that I took down at the beach, and just added my own flavour to it. Use the photo really as a reference for the start of a story, I guess. And I tend to work on these little panels, especially for a lot of practice paintings and so on. And I just put masking tape and stick them straight on the board here. So that makes it really easy to work with them and then peel them off and pop them up on the windowsill. So I'm doing quite a few paintings like this at the moment, as you probably saw from these ones over here, working on that sort of beach theme at the moment, doing a bit of a series on those. So I've got a whole lot of photos. I took 400 or 500 just the other day at the beach, and you can see here I've got all the photos here that I'm working off, and I'm using these as reference material for different paintings and so on that I'm doing. So that's that. Here I've got my palette. It's a bit of a mess. I need to clean it up from doing last night, painting last night. And then I've got, my paints, my thinner bucket, brushes, solvents, mediums, all that sort of thing. Cheaper paints for when I'm doing demonstrations or workshops and so on. And then I've got here a TV monitor and a camera. And what I do is I film, basically. I move this board around so it's more of a right angle onto the camera, and I film a lot of my paintings for demonstrations for More Art School, and the monitor allows me to see what the camera's picking up so I can make any adjustments that are necessary while we're doing the painting. You can see over here, I thought you might find this interesting. That bottle of wine is a prop. It's not something I'm up here drinking on my own. But this is my light box here. Now, I just made this. If I turn on this light, this is for doing still lifes. And I haven't done a lot of still lifes, and I'm just starting to work on them now. But you can see, just from those two blocks there, the shadow that's cast. And that makes for a really interesting still life. In fact, let me grab this one here and show you. I only just really started doing still lifes, and well, yeah, you can see that that was obviously done using those blocks. So I've got a bit of work to do to really improve on those. But what's interesting about this light box, and if I just pan back, you can see where it sort of sits on my desk there. So it's just tucked away in the corner. What's interesting about it is it's just a cardboard box. If you look at the side there, I just grab the cardboard box and I'll just cut out down there, across the bottom here, and got some black spray paint, a can of spray paint, and sprayed it. And it's a great little light box. You can see underneath there, it's just up on a couple of wooden blocks, and perfect for doing still lifes because it's right there, and it's not far for me to look down from where I'm painting. So that's really my little studio setup. As I said, it's a mess, right? But that's kind of the way I work, and why clean up because I'm just going to come and make a mess the next day is my philosophy. Probably doesn't work too well for my wife, but hey, it's the life of an artist, isn't it? Not really. I could probably be a bit cleaner if I wanted to be, but I do feel that I'm just going to make the same mess the next day. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you. As I said, it's best if you can find yourself a little room like this tucked away in a corner somewhere where you can shut the door on the mess and get yourself set up in this little studio, and I think you'll find that you become a lot more productive when you've got your own space like this. Well, this is Rod Moore. Drop by my website and say hi, and let me know how you enjoy the video. Cheers for now.